All right, let's dive right into an incredibly frustrating, yet totally normal scenario that trips up almost everyone on a fitness journey. Welcome to this explainer, where we're going to untangle one of the most misunderstood mysteries in health and wellness. You know the exact feeling I'm talking about, right? You've been working so hard, making all the right choices, saying no to the office donuts, and then, bam, the scale seemingly betrays you. Well, today, we are unpacking exactly why that happens and why you can officially stop worrying about it. Picture this. You maintained your calorie deficit perfectly yesterday. You ate well, you prioritized your protein, you absolutely crushed your workout, and you even went to bed early. But then, you step on the scale the next morning, and the number has inexplicably gone up. I mean, it feels completely contradictory, doesn't it? You're eating less than your body requires, so how on earth is it possible that your weight is actually climbing?
Seeing your weight jump from, say, 60.0 kilograms to 61.2 kilograms literally overnight, yeah, that can trigger some instant panic. It's super disheartening, and honestly, for a lot of people, this exact moment is what makes them just throw their hands up and quit. But today, we're going to put on our detective hats and investigate the biological suspects behind this totally natural fluctuation. Because here's the truth. A short-term scale increase absolutely does not mean your efforts are failing. You're doing just fine, and this is completely normal.
So the absolutely crucial point to understand here is that body weight and body fat are two entirely different things. We kind of use the terms interchangeably in everyday life, but scientifically, they are not the same at all. Think of the scale as measuring everything inside your body. It's the combined weight of your bones, your organs, your muscle mass, your body water, the food currently making its way through your digestive tract, and then finally, your stored fat. Fat loss is a biological process, and it just doesn't happen in a perfectly straight line. Any one of those other components can fluctuate wildly from day to day, totally masking your true fat loss.
Moving on to Section 1, the biological suspects, investigating the spike.
All right, let's uncover exactly what caused that overnight jump, starting with our first three culprits. First up, sodium. A salty meal prompts your kidneys to hold on to extracellular fluid. It's just a temporary response, but it adds actual physical weight. Next, and this one surprises so many people, is digestive content. The actual physical weight of the food and liquid passing through your GI tract can account for a 1 to 2 kilogram variation all on its own. Depending on when you ate, how much fiber you had, and, well, your bathroom habits, you could literally just be weighing your undigested dinner.
And that actually brings us perfectly to why higher carbohydrate meals temporarily increase your scale weight. Check out this ratio. For every single gram of carbohydrate stored in your muscles as glycogen, it binds to about 3 to 4 grams of water. So, what does this mean for you? Well, if you eat a slightly higher carb meal, your body stores that energy in your muscles and drags a whole bunch of water in right along with it. It is not fat gain, folks. It's just your muscles hydrating and fueling up for the day.
Our next suspect? Your workout. Yes, even your most grueling gym sessions can cause the scale spike. When you do resistance training or high-intensity stuff, you create tiny micro-tears in your muscle fibers. Your body immediately responds with acute inflammation, drawing fluid right into those muscles as part of the necessary repair process. This temporary water retention is quite literally a sign that your body is healing, growing stronger, and adapting. It is absolutely not a sign of sudden fat gain. So honestly, that post-workout weight bump, that's a victory.
And of course, we have to talk about the hormonal factors. Add in high psychological stress, the kind that spikes your cortisol and causes fluid retention. Toss in a night of really poor sleep, which totally messes with your hunger and recovery hormones. And for women, normal menstrual cycle fluctuations, specifically those shifts in estrogen and progesterone, they cause very predictable fluid shifts in the days leading up to a period. You combine any of these factors, or even just regular shifts in your daily hydration levels, and you've got the perfect recipe for a temporary jump on the scale.
Which brings us to Section 2, measuring beyond the scale, true recomposition.
So if the scale is this noisy, unreliable daily signal, how do we actually track genuine fat loss? Well, by focusing on 4 key steps, you can get a much more accurate picture of your progress. Step 1, waist circumference. It's honestly one of the most reliable at-home markers of changing fat stores. Step 2, take progress photos. They reveal shifts in shape and fat distribution that the scale is just completely blind to. Step 3 is the clothing fit test. Having a consistent reference outfit, like maybe a pair of non-stretch jeans, often mirrors changes in your body long before the scale catches up. And finally, Step 4, track your strength and cardio performance. If your scale weight isn't dropping, but you're lifting heavier and moving easier, you are definitely preserving lean muscle and losing fat.
Moving into Section 3,
Track the trend, not the panic.
You know, comparing today's weight only with yesterday's is kind of like trying to understand global climate patterns by looking out your window for 5 seconds. It just doesn't work. Instead, let's look at a realistic 7-day log. Say on Monday, you weigh 60 kilos. Then on Tuesday, a spike, 61.2 kilos. Maybe that was from a salty dinner or a brutal leg day. Now, if you only looked at Tuesday, you'd probably panic. But watch what happens. It dips to 60.8, then down to 60.1, drops to 59.9 by Friday, bumps up a little bit on Saturday, and hits 59.7 on Sunday. The daily numbers are jumping up and down all over the place. But when you calculate the 7-day weekly average, it reveals a nice, smoothed-out number of 60.2 kilos. When you start comparing these weekly averages over a month, that underlying fat loss trend reveals itself to be steadily, beautifully moving downward.
I think the absolute most important takeaway here is that the goal isn't to fix these normal biological fluctuations. I mean, you can't and really shouldn't try to stop your body from digesting its food or repairing its muscles. Instead, try to use consistent weighing conditions, like maybe first thing in the morning after using the bathroom, and just treat the numbers as pure neutral data. Calories are just information. They are not a reason for guilt. We want to make calmer, evidence-based decisions rather than punishing ourselves for basic human physiology.
And that brings us to our final thought for this explainer. One weigh-in is a data point. The trend is the story. Track the trend, not the panic. So, knowing now that the scale measures water, digestion, glycogen, and stress just as much as it measures fat, are you ready to stop letting a single morning data point dictate your entire mood? The next time that scale jumps up unexpectedly, I really want you to remember the biological suspects we investigated today. Look at your weekly average, take a deep breath, and just keep going. Because the truth is, real progress is happening even when the scale tries to tell you otherwise.